Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to make a realistic queue line. Before I jump into building, I'm going to explain a little bit about how queues work. In yellow, I've marked all the grids that we're going to be using. However, we're only going to be using what's marked in blue, in the light blue. Now, I've separated the light blue and the dark blue. The light blue is the fast pass lane, and the dark blue is the regular lane. This is pretty common in most amusement parks, and this is what the flow of a queue line should look like on a pretty quiet day at an amusement park that's not very busy. The red lines indicate chains or gates that block off the overflow queue lines that are only really used on busy days. On a busy day, these gates or chains can be repositioned to allow guests to go through the overflow queue lines on a busy day. So here I've already marked out with the terrain tools where I want all of the queue to be, and I'm using Moby's concrete walls to mark the borders of the queue line, because like I said, we're not actually going to be using every bit of this that I've marked, and you'll see why in a little bit. And then after you've done that, you can just erase everything that you've marked, place down your queue, and then after that you want to take T4Ls, fences, and more, and you want to use the 1H wall piece to create the rest of the border around the queue. You can use whatever you want really, but for this tutorial I just decided to use this. And you want to cap off the ends with the posts. Here I'm making 2-meter tall posts because I'm actually going to make 2-meter tall fences with this, kind of like you see right here. I'm going to combine it with Shyguy's planters with the railings in that set, and it kind of just creates a really customized fence. Now you're going to want to take CoasterJoe's queue railings, and you're going to want to start dividing your regular lane and your fast pass lane. And once you've done that, you can start working on the railings for your overflow queue lines. And once you've done that, you want to place this pole piece on the corners and the joints of the railings. And after that, you want to use T4Ls, fences, and more again. And you want to use the straight 1H chain piece for your gate that's going to block off the overflow queue. Because this is really only going to function like a regular slow day at an amusement park. You can't actually have the peeps walk all the way through the queue, unfortunately. Now you want to take Moby's concrete floors and you want to place down the path onto your queue. And then after that, you're going to want to take StationJimJr's Gardening set, and you're going to want to place trash cans all along your queue, because people always have garbage to throw away. And I usually just place them along the sides, sometimes in the corners. Once you've placed your trash cans, you want to use the animated misting / queue fans set, and you want to place these along your queue to keep your guests cool on the hot summer days. There's a lot of different options with this. There's the misting fans that actually have mist particle effects, and there's some that don't. And then there's also 2D fans and 3D fans that you can use. depending on your graphics card. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm just using the 3D ones. Normally I would use 2D, but because a lot of people aren't really going to look at them unless you're putting it up for download or something. But it just kind of helps with poly count. And then there's a grill piece that goes over that. So these really come in like 3 pieces, and it's pretty simple. There's like a lot of different kinds you can use. And now you're going to want to open StationJimJr's random things set, and you're going to want to add a test seat and a "you must be this tall to ride" sign. And I believe I used the diagonal quarter piece for that. Here I'm using Stuke 71's Hangar 51 set to create the arch for my entrance, and then I'm using DRP's ambient set for the lighting. And now you want to use Stuke 71's Canopy 101 set. And you want to use, for this part, you're going to be using support A. And you place them kind of facing opposite directions. And then you attach the poles to those supports. And then you use the canopy corner A. And this will just kind of create small canopies for people to walk under. Now we're going to use Canopy 101 frame, and we're going to place 3 of these. And then right here I'm placing LCD TV speakers, and you can find the LCD TVs in the billboard section of your menu. And then you just add a canopy lamp and the Canopy 101 main canopy over that, and then you are done with your canopies. Here I'm using Brian G94's path set, and I'm using the soil path set to fill this area in, and I'm going to fill it with plants. But first I'm going to add some lighting, and I'm going to be using Vodhin's 2008 lighting kit, and I'm using the single Art Deco lamps. And then here I'm using StationJim's Gardening again. This time I'm using the gardening set that's in the plant, the foliage menu, and not the building menu. And this set's really nice because it has a lot of different bushes and trees and flowers and things. And it's just a very good set to have. Another good foliage set is Weber's Boulders and Brush, and this comes with some greenery pieces that are like grass, and it's a really good set to have to add texture to your grass. And so adding that with advanced painting, which I might do a tutorial later on, that really gives good grass texture. Then you can use Shyguy's rock set to kind of just put in a few more small details. And just a quick note about StationJimJr's gardening set. There's actually several downloads for that. There is StationJimJr's Gardening 1 and 2, and then there's also a 2.5. And so there's a lot of different things in each set. And I will have all the links for all the downloads in the info box down below. And now our queue line is complete. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what other kind of tutorials you guys would like me to do in the comment section below. And thanks for watching.